Ooh, it's a little bright. Good evening, guys. Coming to you live. I don't have any breaking news. It's probably as casual you'll ever see me. It's a little bright. What I wanted to do is I just wanted to come on here. Good evening, guys. Coming to you live. I don't have any breaking news. I hear myself. It's probably as casual you'll ever see me. Not anymore now. Now I don't hear me. Well, basically, I just wanted to come on here tonight and just have a conversation and really didn't want to see, people live or anything like that and, get involved in chatting with people. And I just really wanted to have a heart-to-heart conversation. The first thing is that I'm so humbled and I'm so blessed. Everything that's been going on, some things that I can't talk about, some things that you guys, my closest friends, know. What I want to do is I want to share with you this weekend, and I just want to tell you that. One second. Got to shut my phone off. And I just wanted to share with you guys, without anybody coming on live and interacting, the experience that I had in Penn State. And sometimes when you meet somebody, you just know, right? You just know it clicks, it works, and you just know, wow, I'm gonna be friends with this person for a long time, right? And there's other people that you meet and you're like, they're gonna be in my life for a period of time, and so be it, right? Well, I've lived in Pennsylvania now for 26, 27 years, and really never had a family here in Pennsylvania until this weekend. And the one thing that I've been, praying to God for is I want a family. I want a family. I want a true family that accepts me for me. I don't have to walk on eggshells. I can be me. And so we were invited to Patriot Streetfighter Scott Mckay's absolutely one of the sweetest people in the world. Michelle and Jono, their house, they were having a barbecue with their family, and here's us intruders, and here's baby Trump walking in, and man, the love that I felt from the time that I walked in the door was it was almost like it was staged. It was that real, like they were playing a movie out or a TV show or something. I mean, and they were paid actors. I mean, it was so. I mean, yelling my name, baby Trump, and hugging me, and the love. I never wanted to leave. I never wanted to leave there. All the Mckay families, every single one of them. He has four beautiful sisters, and then obviously, the general, his father, and I got to hang out with his dad, and you know, and I talked to him about him shooting his gun, and it was pretty amazing. This man that I met the first time, would sit there and have a conversation with me. And it made me miss my dad. I saw the love that Sky had with his father, and it was so endearing. I told Scott driving home yesterday, I told Scott, Scott, there's something that I want to share with you right now that you have that I never had the opportunity. And right now it doesn't seem like a big deal, but one day it is. And he said, "What's that, Chris?" And I said, my dad never ever saw me on stage. Never saw me dance on stage. My dad never saw me talk on stage. I told him that in Philadelphia when I went to go get him, that I brought him and my mom there. And Friday night, he wanted to go out for cheesesteaks. He was hungry. So I took him out for cheesesteaks. And he had this huge cheesesteak. I couldn't even believe how big it was. My father loved cheesesteaks because when I lived in Philadelphia, I'd always get him a cheesesteak. I just remember sitting there and my dad and my mom and at that time, the rest of my team and just loving on my dad and just letting him enjoy and he was having a great time. And the next morning when I got up that Saturday when they were going to give the awards out for me and have me talk on stage in front of 20,000 people, I went to knock on the door and my mom told me dad wasn't feeling good. And my dad was getting sick all over the place. He came to the door and he apologized to me. I said, "Dad, don't apologize to me. You don't feel good. You're sick." And I could look in his eyes and I could see how hurt he was, that he wasn't going to be there that day. I wasn't mad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't sad. What I didn't tell you is my dad had metastatic resistant castrate prostate cancer in 9 places. But my dad cared enough that he wanted to see me. So he came. He was sick the whole entire day. I didn't get to see him, and then Sunday I got to see him. Scott, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart and General and the Mckays that I got to live vicariously through the General and through you, Scott. And when your dad was watching you on stage, I just pictured that being my dad watching me. Watching his father watch his son with just sheer love and admiration and adoration and respect was the highlight for me. People are gonna say, "Well, didn't you dance? You loved to dance." And yeah, I loved to dance, and that was great. But let me tell you something, watching his father watch his son with such love and proudness, that touched me more than anything. The other thing I want to talk about is his family. And, you know, you always hear people and they always say, oh, I have a great family, or, my family's this, or my family's that. But I watched a family take in a group of misfits. It was me and Amanda and Dennis and Ron. I mean, they're really misfits if you look at us. We're a motley crew. But the love that they had, it was so genuine. I mean, I did not want to leave that place. I'm like, I'm only 2.5 hours away. You better be careful. I left my margarita there on purpose so I can come up there and just spend time with them. Because I know I'll have a phenomenal time. And, watch his sisters, help them out at the door. And, it was just making sure that they were okay, making sure that they didn't get flustered or upset. And they were just absolutely just beautiful people. Just beautiful people. And watching them watch their brother on stage, watching him bring down the thunder with so much love. The one thing I have to say is something happened to Scott. I saw it. I saw it in Dallas. I saw it on my podcast. I'm seeing a loving, sensitive, endearing, vulnerable man that, for me, the love and respect that I had for this man went from here to here. I watched this man after he was there from 12, it was around 8. I watched this man for 8 hours be on his feet. And I watched him bend down to a woman that had cerebral palsy. And what I saw was this endearing, beautiful, loving man. And I videoed it and I couldn't stop holding back tears. It was absolutely so beautiful. And I watched this man once again sign every autograph, talk to every single person, have intimate conversations one-on-one, didn't ever look down the line and see how many people there were. All that mattered was whoever was in front of him. And not too many people can do that. Not too many people. And then I met his best friend, Jim Bothell, and his son, Luke. What a beautiful men, actually. But Jim Bothell, I mean, it was like I knew him forever. It was like him and I had picked up and left off exactly where we started. And we talked and took pictures and prayed together. And then his son, Luke. You know when God is working? When a man walks up to you and says, I have a message from God for you. I don't want to call you out, he says. And he says, I have to ask you, what is the birth name that your mother gave to you? That was God talking to him. Luke and I became brothers immediately. He sent me a text today. I sat there and cried for 30 seconds. It was one of the most beautiful texts I've ever read from a man, talking about praying for me and being there and have warriors there for me. And his dad, I can't wait to see him in South Carolina. And man, did he bring the house down with his speech. It was so endearing to see a man that was so competitive, with Scott, just love on him and the admiration and the respect that he had for Scott, but most importantly, the love. And I remember, Scott, I don't even know if you know this or not, but when we were back in the dressing room, Jim asked me to, bless him. I was like, absolutely, brother, but you're already blessed. You are a beautiful, godly man. We did a prayer together, and he went out there and just ripped it down. And then we couldn't leave one another. It was like we didn't want to say goodbye. And if that wasn't enough, then we meet Joe. We're out to dinner that night, and this guy Joe shows up, who, by the way, he comes to the event. He says, "Oh, I know Michelle McKay, la la la," shows me his number. I'm like, I don't care. Hold on. Nobody comes into this event around Scott, especially Scott's family, unless I know 1,000% you're on our side. And so I made him stay outside. I went to Michelle. I said, "Do you know this gentleman?" He said, "Absolutely." Came back. I waved him in. Michelle met him. We walked in. He was showing me x-rays of Scott, which I had already seen, and just a great man. We're sitting there at dinner, and all of a sudden, turn to the right, he shows up, talks about his wife, who he absolutely loves and adores, Judy. Oh, I watched a man talk about his wife and how much he adores her and loves her. And he's taking care of her. That's what he does. He takes care of her all day long. It wasn't a brain aneurysm. Something happened with her brain. And he doesn't care. He loves and adores her. Where other people would think that is a burden. Oh my gosh, I have to do this. Here's a man that's like, I look forward to. I love her so much. I was sitting there saying, Scott, do you know any scumbags? Like, is everybody you know a beautiful, loving person? And then we were talking, and great woman sitting next to me, Amanda, fitness woman, has a gym, going through hell. First night I was with her on at the barbecue, she was so nasty, had a wall up, was a bitch towards me. We fought back and forth. Next day, totally different woman. Sweet, can I get you anything? Joking around with me, taking selfies. And that night, she started crying. Started crying. She couldn't take it no more. She couldn't take the loving that was around the table. She couldn't handle it anymore. She couldn't be that bitch anymore. She couldn't. Her wall just totally crumbled. Crumbled. Scott was across the table and just watched it. She's like, I was trying so hard to keep that wall up. Boom, it came down. And then we had a phenomenal conversation. Next morning, she talked to me, and she was very intimate with me in her conversation that brought tears to my eyes. And now she's part of our family. The sisters are going and taking her camping up in Buffalo. I'd love to be up there, but I think I'm going to be on tour with Scott. Otherwise, I'd be there. I don't know about camping though. Can you imagine baby Trump camping? Ooh, maybe not so, huh? Maybe we just put the brakes on that, huh? But seriously, and then we got to get a bag, and Michelle has it, and we're coming down the highway, and she's like, just meet me off the exit. I'll give you the bag. And there was a hat that she wanted Scott to sign. And so we pulled over, and she made two salads that you can't even buy in a restaurant. I kid you not. Avocado sliced up, salmon with dill. I mean, the salad was like a $23 salad, and she made two of them with two waters. And I just was like, wow, am I, what world am I living in? You know, talk about the pastor and Pastor Mitchell. You talk about courage. You talk about having Scott and us in there. Clay, this one's for you. I know you love me, but maybe you let the pastors, or maybe you look down at me because I was a former Chippendale. Let me tell you, that pastor loved it. Those people loved it. And then John, and then Dave from security, and then the two brothers. And we ran security. Our communication was so solid. It was the music, the video, everything was on point. It was the most perfect show I've ever done in my life. I kid you not. And it was funny because after Dallas, I was saying, to Ron and Dennis, our team, and Scott. Well, by the way, so Ron, Dennis, and we are the trifecta. That's what we call ourselves, by the way. So shout out to my boys. And I said, it's so hard because there's so many uh tangibles and so many hands, in the fire, so to speak, and so many cooks in the kitchen. So to have a perfect show, it's kind of hard. They put on a perfect show. Thank you so much, Christ Community Church. Appreciate that. And the people, you know, that church is just a building. That church is just a building. That building has nothing to do with God, other than the only reason God is inside of a church is because God is inside of you. I had to hang up on a guy today for over an hour and a half. I was listening to him. Finally, when he got to the point when he was saying, Chris, you can't say a church is evil. I said, listen, it's a building. The people in it is what makes it. And I'm sorry, but when a church is funded by the cabal and Lucifer's money and child trafficking and adrenochrome, I'm sorry. That's evil where I come from. And I hung up on him because I couldn't. If you don't understand that and you have a problem with me on that, get off my podcast. Go somewhere else. I'm here to flex the truth and only the truth. But the people, Patriot Street Fighters, the PSFers, as I call them with love. Wow, what beautiful people. You guys bring it every time. Doesn't matter if we're in Dallas, doesn't matter if we're Pennsylvania, and we're going to be everywhere very soon. Scott, you don't know this, but I actually had somebody ask me this from Patriot Street Fighter, and I just wanted to surprise and share you with this now. I actually had one of your fans ask me this question, and I thought it was one of the best questions anybody's ever asked me, in the last 6 months at least. They said, Chris, your baby Trump, your video went viral in 72 hours. You have a podcast, you have a great podcast. Why are you hooked up with Scott Mckay? Why are you running a show for Scott Mckay? Why aren't you running a show for Chris Erickson Flex the Truth. You're going on tour with Scott. Right. And I will be branding Scott. This is what my answer was. If you would have told me a year ago that I was going to be backup singer or a roadie or, anything other than the lead singer, I tell you, you're nuts. I don't know anything else than other than being the lead singer or the quarterback or the pitcher. That is my DNA. That is who I am. That is who I've been. But you see, when God orders your steps, you don't go against him. And so when God says, you, my friend, you are going to look after someone else, you're going to take care of them, you are going to serve them, and you're not going to get anything out of it. What? I mean, I'm not going to make money? No. I'm not going to get adulation? No. Nothing. Well, is it going to boost my career? No. Is it going to boost my... No. Why would you do it? Because God orders my steps. And who am I to tell him no? And being around Dennis and being around Ron, if you ever have been around us too, you can see the love and affection we have, even across the room. Even when we're in a restaurant, people are looking at us with Scott going, what's going on at that table? What is going on? I want to be with those guys. Why are they, where's all that love? I mean, when we walk into a place, no matter how dark that place is, it lights up because we light that room up. We do. And, I believe the greatest gift that you can ever give someone is to serve someone without wanting anything back in return. My whole entire life, I have never served people. I mean, network marketing, I built a lot of people's businesses and I made them financially free and time free. Absolutely, I've done that. I've built a lot of people's businesses. But I've always wanted something back in return, albeit money, adulation, name on the charts, number one in the company, always wanted something back. I only met Scott Mckay a month ago in Tulsa. And I remember Clay saying, I don't know why I want you here, but I want you here. And Clay, thank you so much because my world has completely changed from Tulsa. And there's many reasons why I was supposed to be there. It wasn't just one. One of them was to meet Scott and Dennis and Ron. And if you would have told me a month ago in Tulsa that I'm willing to put my life on the line for a man I just met, I'd say you're absolutely out of your mind. But that's what I'm doing. I love Scott Mckay as if he was part of my family. I love what he's about. I love when he speaks. I can listen to him forever. But I love his heart. And I don't want to say the change. I want to say I'm watching him evolve. I'm watching him evolve with so much love and so much godliness. I've never heard him speak so much godliness and so much just love. He's an evangelist. I told him that. I told him he's anointed. It's a pleasure and honor just to be a part of what he's doing. So anybody ever have a question for me, why I'm doing this, why am I not doing this? Let me tell you, because I've done what I've done and put, me aside, God's like, no, 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 we're not hiding you. We hid you long enough. We still got to get you out there. We still got to get your ministry. Thursday I'll be in Portland. I'm so excited for that. Saturday, I'm going to be speaking with Ann Vandersteel. I know we have interviews, we have dinners Thursday and Friday. Saturday, a big bonfire party afterwards. I'm so elated. I can't wait to see Scott again. Scott and I met in DC, got reacquainted in Tulsa. There's that Tulsa connection. And now in Oregon, and we're going to do other things together. And then I leave for Dallas. And then I'm going to be going to Florida, and I'm going to be meeting up with a gentleman and a woman that I just met. So I'm excited about that. Looks like I'm going to have a partner in merchandising too. So I'm really excited about that. And, here's what I want to tell you is that you I don't want you to ever think that God will not provide for you. I remember my pastor saying 17 years ago, he talked about marriages and he talked about why marriages fail or relationships for the most part. And he said it's because, excuse me, of selfishness, is that the husband thinks for himself, his wants, his needs, his desires. The wife thinks about her wants, her needs, her desires. So if you have the husband thinking about his wants, his needs, his desires, you have the wife thinking about her needs, her wants, her desires. Neither one of them are taking care of them, right? Or maybe you have the husband that takes care of the wife, her needs, her wants, her desires, but then you don't have the wife because she's selfish. Do you see the dichotomy? But imagine if you had this. Imagine if you had the husband not care about his needs, his wants, his desires, that all of his attention, all his focus was on his wife's needs, wants, desires. And then you have the wife look out for the husband's needs, wants, desires. And there you have a perfect marriage. There you have a perfect relationship. Where relationships go south is because either one or more of the people in that relationship are being selfish emotionally. Love one another, serve one another, see what happens. Do it without any expectations of getting anything back from it. Watch what happens. Watch the love around you. And listen, if you have people that are toxic, clean your plate. Get rid of them. I had a friend for 2 years. He's gone. Not so much that he was toxic. His wife was toxic. And I knew he would never stand up to his wife, so he had to go. But what did God do? He put another gentleman, another wife that was not toxic in our lives. He put other friends. He put family members like Ron and Dennis and Scott and the Mckay family. And oh, by the way, part of that Mckay family, I can't forget the girls. Well, I'm going to call them by name. Christine, Arlene, Sherry. Beautiful, just absolutely, and Tiffany, can't forget Tiffany, beautiful women, just loving, sweet, beautiful inside and outside, volunteer. They're for the cause. They can't help other people. And then the queen of the women, Goldilocks. Goldilocks is, Scott and I were talking about her, and we were talking about her childlike manner. And I'm like, that's who I am. He's like, you're absolutely right. Like, we don't care who's watching us, who's looking. We don't care. And that childlike manner is so infectious and so contagious. And that's why it says in the Bible to be childlike, to be like that innocent, right? Where you're not offended. You're not offended by anything. Children don't get offended by anything. They don't care. They don't know enough. They're smiling all the time. They fall down, they get up, they brush off, and they smile. Adults, all we do is bitch and moan why we fell, how long, and then we're down on the ground, and how long we're down in the ground, and what happened. Instead of just picking ourselves back up, dusting ourselves off, and continuing on. So I wanted to just give a couple of shout outs. I wanted to talk about the event as I always do, but I wanted to do it more intimately where I don't have, the chats going on back and forth. What I do want to tell you is that one of the ways God has blessed me is that I have a doctor and I have a guy that owns a bank that are going to be putting ads here on my podcast very, very soon. If you use them, I will get paid. That money will fund my ministry. So that is my end game. You guys know that. So everything that I do from here on out is going to be funding my ministry. So that includes the book tour, that includes anything else that I do, the merchandising, obviously. We have some big things coming. I have shirts coming. I have Save the Children shirts. I have Godfident shirts, are all trademarked, are all being copyrighted as we speak too. Um, so yeah, so guys, a couple of people I do want to pray for. I want to pray for Nurse Erin and her son. And I believe I want to make sure I have his right name. Oh, I can't remember his because I know there was Logan. Give me 1 second. Drew. I want to pray for Drew, and I also want to pray for her whole family, what they're going through. Her son has been sick for the last 2 weeks. I think he was in ICU. I know he was in the hospital. I just want to pray for you, Nurse Aaron. My heart goes out. I love your boys. I had such a great time with them. So I want to pray for them, that they just get healed, that anything ungodly is ripped out of their body. James Keller, I haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully you're doing okay. And your dad, I want to pray for your dad, with the chemo. Hope everything is going okay. James, if it's not going okay, please pick up the phone and call me, okay? Fair enough. God, I want to pray for you and your family. Um, Donna has really turned into a true flexi, and I love that. I watched her go from not even knowing who she was, who existed, and being, having an anchor who she thought was a friend, and we got rid of that friend, and now she's blossomed and just become the best version of her. So just want to pray for you, and I just want to pray for everybody that sees this, that maybe you're going through something right now. Maybe it's a family member got the pokey jokey. Maybe it's somebody that got COVID or something. So I want to pray for you right now. And listen, if you don't know the Lord, and you do want to know the Lord, all you have to do is just invite him into your heart and just ask the Lord for forgiveness. Just repent. Say, dear Lord, I invite you into my heart right now. I repent all my sins. I want to start all over. All my sins are washed away underneath the blood of the altar. I am now a child of God. I am heaven bound. This I ask in Christ or in Christ your name. Amen. And that's it. That's it. It doesn't have to get all crazy. You just say a small prayer like that, but it's what's in your heart that matters. Well, by the way, all the shirts now will have the heart hug here. So that is going to be my my whole mantra on this tour is teaching people how to hug. If I could do one thing on this tour is teaching people how to hug, and that will definitely be in my book. So guys, hopefully you got something out of this. I'm not looking to change everybody's lives, make a difference in everybody's lives all at once. If I could get to one person per podcast, that's all I need. I just need one person that I say something that moves, touch, and or inspires you to get up, take action in your life. Get up, take action maybe in your job. Get up, take action in your career, or get up and take action in this war. So guys, from the bottom of my heart to yours, just remember, you're worthy. You're a walking, talking miracle. Don't let anybody ever tell you that. Always flex your mind, flex your muscles, but above all, flex the truth. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow.